Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are... Thank you, Doc. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, finally. Long awaited for me, maybe not for you because you don't know what's going to happen yet, but today is a day I've been waiting for since I started this channel, because today is a day that we test a theory. We test my theory of this channel, and that is that while we all love first-time reactions, I do, you do, I've been watching them for years, that's why I started this channel, I think there's more to movie reaction videos, to movie commentary videos, and today is the day we try that out. Today we watch Back to the Future. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the first time. I'm not going to tell you it's the 10th time. I'm not going to tell you it's the 50th time. To be honest, I don't know how many times I've seen Back to the Future. What I do know is I've seen it a lot, and I love it. If you pick movies that you spent your childhood watching, that you watched all through the years you were growing up, Back to the Future, and all three of the Back to the Future movies, in fact, are those movies for me. I don't know for a fact if I saw the first Back to the Future in the theater. I think I may have. I know for a fact that I saw Back to the Future 2 and 3 in the theater. But as part of the goal of this channel, my argument is that there is certainly something of value to seeing somebody watch a movie for the first time. I think there is also something of value to experiencing somebody's favorite movie with them, at least one of their favorite movies. And today is that day. So it really only comes down to one question. Do you like Back to the Future? So do I. Let's make a video. But before we get started, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for going on this reaction channel journey with me. This is a new branch of it, and I really hope that you'll go ahead and hit the like and subscribe down there, click the bell so you can see when I'll be putting out new videos. I'm going to be doing a lot of different movie-based content out here, some TV show stuff too, but we'll see where it takes us. But for now, today, Back to the Future, 1985, here we go. I always want the movie to start with the song. I forget the first one doesn't start with the song. I think that's how 2 and 3 start. It's like, why does someone need so many clocks? But then it's like, hey, scientists, so he can do whatever he wants, because science, you know.
You won't find a better car at a better price with...
That's not good for your coffee maker. I think we can all agree the dog food one's the most impressive. Although that's pretty gross. Efficient, though.
Doc!
I'd never noticed that before, but that makes so much sense. It says Volterra on his skateboard right there. The first skateboard I ever had was a Volterra skateboard. They don't make skateboards anymore, but they had a Back to the Future themed skateboard that they sold back then, which we had. I remember not understanding what he's doing here. I wonder if people who played electric guitars were screaming at the screen watching this. Like, what the hell are you doing? What do you think is going to happen? And why did Doc build an amp that big? Must have been for an experiment. That's one way to start a show, or end it. Michael J. Fox, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa.
First time I saw him anywhere, right here.
Hey, Doc!
Doc, I destroyed your place.
Can you meet me at Twin Pines Mall tonight at 1:15? You better not hook up to the amplifier. There's a slight possibility of overload.
Yeah.
A little late for that. You ripped apart half of your house, Doc. Ooh, I think I forgot how loud that was.
Are those right clocks?
Yeah, 8 o'clock!
Perfect. They're all exactly 25 minutes slow.
I'm late for school!
Figures that Doc would have an experiment that specifically would screw over Marty to be late for school. Also, why was Marty there? Marty was supposed to be going to school. He just stopped by Doc's to destroy the place with an amplifier? Every kid wanted to do this, and that is super dangerous. Every kid is like, oh, I want to learn to ride a skateboard holding onto a car. It looked like so much fun, and it's like, yeah, that's a great way to die. I'm not going to tell you we didn't try it, but I'm not going to tell you we did either.
Yo, Jennifer.
Marty, don't go this way. Strickland's looking for you. If you get caught, it'll be 4 tardies in a row.
She's got his back. That's a good friend, let alone girlfriend there.
The doc said all his clocks 25 minutes slow.
Doc?
That was creepy. Is he hiding around a corner?
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Yeah, well, history is going to change.
Really great guy to have an education. I think we can all agree. This is funny. I'm sure most of the people watching this know this already.
For the pinheads.
Also, I wonder who this band is that they have on stage with them that they got for the movie. Michael J. Fox can actually play too, I think, from what I've heard.
Hold it, fellas. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Next, please.
So, Huey Lewis telling Michael J. Fox, who's playing his song, Huey Lewis's song, that he's too darn loud.
Too loud. I can't believe it.
Marty, one rejection isn't the end of the world.
Nah, I just don't think I'm cut out for music.
It's a hard thing to not give up if you don't have a lot of confidence in situations like that.
It's like Doc's
Yeah, I
always
know,
say.
I know. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
That's good advice, Marty.
Checking out other women right in front of his girlfriend. What the hell's wrong with him?
Does your mom know about tomorrow night?
My mother would freak out if she knew I was going up there with you.
She's just trying to keep you respectable.
Save the clock tower!
That's just rude. You walk up to two kids that are trying to kiss and you shake a can in their face?
We at the Hill Valley Preservation Society think it should be preserved exactly the...
Jeez, lady. Calm down a bit.
Here's a quarter.
Jennifer!
That's the power.
Now that's just stupid. Aside from being dangerous, you're going to try to get arrested, holding onto a cop car. He was going to take this car to the lake, and I guess if you're not going off-road or anything.
Just perfect.
Loan me a car without telling me it had a blind spot. I could have been killed.
He didn't know that all cars have blind spots. Biff's a real sharp thinker. Wonder how he got a driver's license.
Can I assume that your insurance is going to pay for the damage?
I want to know who's going to pay for this.
How do you like this old age makeup from the 80s? All of these people are about the same age, I think.
Hello, anybody home? I gotta have time to get them retyped.
Nice 70s sideburns in 1985.
McClure, your shoes untied.
Wow. Such an impressive guy.
I have your car towed all the way to your house, and all you got for me is light beer?
He got his car wrecked and had it towed all the way to his house like he did him a favor.
Say hi to your mom for me.
Afraid I'm just not very good at confrontations.
Here's a line, George. You might not be good at confrontations, but come on.
Kids, your Uncle Joey didn't make roll again.
Woo, time to change that oil.
What is this laugh? How is that a real laugh from anybody?
Jennifer Parker called you twice. I don't like her, Marty. When I was your age, I never chased a boy or called a boy. Sat in a parked car with a boy.
She's just an outright liar. Or is it the implication supposed to be that she only did that because she met Marty and didn't realize he was her son?
That was so stupid. Grandpa hit him with the car. It was meant to be.
It seemed like she was pretty wild, more so than she's leading on at least.
So you decided to go with him to the fish under the sea dance. No, it was the enchantment under the sea dance.
Way better, way better.
It was then that I realized that I was going to spend the rest of my life with him.
Wow, sounds like a real love story, the way she said it. It would have been interesting to see how this actually played out before Marty got involved. Like, how did that version of George McFly ever get the nerve to talk to any girl? Why is Marty sleeping on his face with his arm behind his back?
Marty, you didn't fall asleep, did you?
Doc.
Cordless phone in 85. Pretty fancy.
On my way.
I forget what mall they said this is. I mean, I don't know if it exists anymore, since malls are going away.
Einstein. Where's the doc, boy?
You cute dog. That's not a noise you expect to hear, especially just coming from a truck. But I guess if you're Doc's friend, you get used to a lot of unusual things, especially if it involves his experiments. This scene is the footage that everybody saw with Eric Stoltz in the movie and stuff before they recast and finally brought in Michael J. Fox. Apparently they just couldn't get the comedy down with him. One of the most iconic vehicles in the history of movies. To the point that if you have one of these, it actually makes it more valuable if you retrofit it to look like the machine from the car from this movie.
Doc!
Marty, you made it!
First time I ever saw Christopher Lloyd, too.
This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life. Good evening. I'm Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm standing on the parking lot at Twin Pines Mall, and this is temporal experiment number 1.
I know Marty's a high school kid, but the word temporal should have been a hint.
Please note that Einstein's clock is in precise synchronization with my control watch.
Noted. Gotta make sure, detail everything. This is science, folks. Science with a sports car and time travel.
Get that thing hooked up to the car.
A big damn remote control car, basically. Let's not sleep on that invention.
Not me, the car, the car!
Come on, Marty. Eye on the prize. There's a dog in a car. That should have your center focus right now.
my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Even just in the slight chance that you're wrong, you die. If I were Marty, I'd have been out of there long before this. Doc, you're out of your mind on this, and I can't believe Marty's going along with you.
What's this?
Look at me funny. I'm not going to get hit by a car. And your feet are on fire. Move.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
It's still awesome every time. I think this is the first time travel movie I ever saw.
Jesus Christ, Doc, you disintegrated Einstein.
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything.
I wouldn't believe him then. He just saw a vehicle disappear in front of him with a dog in it.
Where the hell are they?
The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? I sent him into the future. 1 minute into the future, to be exact.
Not watching your clock. You should be. How long does this whole interaction take?
The stainless steel construction made the
Move. Move. Get going.
Look out.
Come on. Yeah. If you only send him 1 minute into the future, maybe pay attention to your watch or move over the side or something. That would definitely be a little off-putting. Can't quite tell what's going on with the car.
Einstein, you little devil!
He seemed psyched. He had like a look on his face like, can we do that again?
He's all right.
He gained an extra minute of his life.
And he's completely unaware that anything happened. Come here, I'll show you how it works.
This is just so much childhood nostalgia. All of these sequences.
Turn the time circuits on.
This just, when you're a kid, especially in the 80s, this just lights up your imagination. You so badly want to have this car.
You input your destination time on this keypad. Say you want to see the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
You could travel in time anywhere you wanted to go. Where would you go? The big question of time travel for anybody.
Here's a red letter date in the history of science, November 5th, 1955. That was the day I invented time travel.
It is interesting looking at Christopher Lloyd's old age and makeup here, because I think he was only in his 30s or 40s when they made this.
Does it run like on regular unleaded gasoline?
It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium!
A little more kick. I'd say it's a hell of a lot more than a little more kick.
I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity I need.
This is where Doc's getting a little reckless. He has things you can make a nuclear bomb out of.
Did you rip that off?
Of course! They wanted me to build them a bomb. Gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts.
And somehow doesn't think any of that is going to come back to bite him. This was always a cool sequence, too. Does anybody know, is this at all accurate to how plutonium was stored? Like, do they have to store it in water or some kind of solution like that?
Safe now. Everything's lead lined.
Yeah, I don't think wild-eyed scientists and plutonium is ever going to elicit the feeling of safe.
25 years into the future. I've always dreamed of seeing the future. Look me up when you get there. Indeed, I will. I almost forgot to bring extra plutonium.
That would be a problem. Being absent-minded when you're dealing with plutonium is not a good combination.
What is it, Arnie? They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
I can imagine how they found you, Doc. You're not exactly a spy. You're dealing with a terrorist group.
Holy sh!
And they are pissed. Can't imagine why. Oh yeah, that'll help. No, surrendering didn't seem to help.
No, bastard!
I understand it was an involuntary reaction, but don't yell at the guy with the machine gun, Marty. I like how this guy just starts shaking his gun. Dude, you're out of ammo. Come on, Marty. No time to hang around. Please. All these things just coming together in exactly the right way here. He just happens to hit the time circuits while he's shifting. And the stakes just got significantly raised. I mean, I know these guys are terrorists, but I was about to say, are they out of their mind? But
see if you bastards can do 90.
All right, Marty. Enjoy the 50s. I imagine that would be fairly terrifying in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, to hear a vehicle crash into your barn. Or at least what sounds like it.
That ain't no airplane. Look.
What are the odds that the comic book the kid had, the vehicle look exactly like the DeLorean? He didn't even do anything.
Listen, look.
Just got out of the vehicle. Cows don't seem to mind.
Hello? Excuse me.
How do you explain that?
Sorry about your barn.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't want to talk, Marty. Get out of there. Not going to be able to reason with them. There you go. Bye-bye barn doors. Boom. Put a serious dent in his breeding of pine trees.
You killed my pine!
It's all a dream. Just a very intense dream.
I'm going to say it's probably not a dream at this point, but I can understand him freaking out. That would be freaky. You show up at the end of what you've always known as a street you grew up on, and it doesn't even exist yet. And that looked just like his house, too. Just as a concept.
Listen, you gotta help me.
Stop, we'll be dead!
What was that? What was that lady's deal? I never have understood that. Why did she scream there? Did she say, "Don't stop or we're dead"? Somebody help me out. Marty can't catch a freaking break here, can he? He's out of gas, he's out of plutonium, he's in the 50s. What are you supposed to do? He has a car that makes people freak out if they see it. Yeah, this would be a pretty desperate feeling. Literally, his only lifeline here is the younger Doc, and only if he can get him to believe him. So that's quite a mind trip. And again, walking around a town that you know that you've grown up in your whole life, but 30 years before. So it feels familiar, but at the same time, I'm sure not. I'm surprised Marty doesn't have like a mental breakdown or something here. And apparently he's never heard that sound, because Clock Tower's been busted the entire time he's been alive. Boom. Reveal, Marty.
It's gotta be a dream.
I never noticed that before, but it almost feels a little Hitchcockian at this point. The kind of otherworldly, odd, just position to find yourself in. Almost like a Twilight Zone, Outer Limits kind of thing.
What'd you do, jump ship?
What?
Well, what's with the life preserver?
That's not really a life preserver, I don't think. It's just a fleece jacket kind of thing. I mean, I know they didn't have them back then, but...
Great, you're alive.
He's actually has his profession listed as scientist. What is the practical application of just being listed in the phone book as a scientist? What kind of jobs do people call you for?
You know where 6... Are you gonna order something, kid?
I mean, the guy's running a business here. Gonna come into his establishment, order something.
Give me a tab.
Can't give you a tab unless you order something.
Right, give me a Pepsi free.
You want a Pepsi, pal? You're gonna pay for it.
I feel like they have a temporal barrier to the language here.
Hey, McFly, what do you think you're doing?
So many reveals in this movie.
Fly, you Irish bug.
Oh, hey.
In this Twilight Zone reality now, you don't realize you're sitting next to your own father at a diner.
You realize what would happen if I hand in my homework in your handwriting? I'll get kicked out of school.
George has not progressed at all since high school, apparently. Neither has Bip. Again, imagine looking at your own father's face just in profile as a teenager.
What?
And him not knowing who you are.
What do you let those boys push you around like that for?
You tell him, Goldie.
Stand tall, boy. Have some respect for yourself.
Yeah, listen to this guy. He's going to be mayor.
They'll be walking over you for the rest of your life. You think I'm going to spend the rest of my life in this slop house?
Damn right he's not. You go to night school in the 50s, and you run for mayor in the 80s. That you would go actively climb a tree to get a look at a naked woman. And also the idea that people just get undressed in front of just open windows.
Dad!
And the timeline has diverged, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
He's the scared peeping Tom grabbing his bike and running away.
Mom, that you?
Yes and no.
You're there now. Been asleep for almost 9 hours now.
9 hours? It was 10 a.m.?
Safe and sound now, back in good old 1955.
You're my mom.
My name is Lorraine.
She also did not sound like that when the lights were off. She purposely had her older woman voice.
I've never seen purple underwear before, Calvin.
Why do you keep calling me Calvin?
It's written all over your underwear.
So she was checking out his underwear enough to see the label on them.
Call me Marty.
Marty? Clyde?
Yeah, This is who she was describing, that she would never have done all this stuff with a boy. She seems to be kind of boy crazy. So she was just outright lying. Yeah, this is an odd premise for a kid's movie. I mean, things were stranger in the 80s as far as movies, the ideas they would come up with and stuff. But
here's the young man you hit with your car out there.
The young man you hit with your car. Another one. Sam's hitting all kinds of people with his car.
Over there in the playpen is little baby Joey.
So you're my Uncle Joey. Better get used to these bars, kid.
That's not nice. You don't gotta tease Joey about the fact he's gonna be in jail.
Oh, look at it roll.
Our first television set. Dad just picked it up today.
We've gotten so used to having TVs around and all this other kind of technology. Imagine when that was a novelty, to be able to have a TV in your home.
Do you have a television?
Well, yeah, you know we have 2 of them.
Wow, you must be rich.
2 televisions means you're rich. Quite a time.
Do I know your mother? Yeah, I think maybe you do. Oh, well, then I want to give her a call. I don't want her to worry about you. You can't.
You can't, because she's sitting next to me right now, and she's a teenager, and I'm from 30 years into the future.
And he can sleep in my room.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Thanks very much. It was wonderful. You were all great.
She just outright lied to her children about what she was like when she was a kid. Although I guess it's not headline news that there are parents who lie to their kids about what they were like when they were younger. All right, knocking on a strange door you're not familiar with for someone who's your friend, but 30 years in the past.
Doc?
That's quite a headwear choice there.
Don't say a word. Quiet.
Doc is going to scientifically read minds.
I'm going to read your thoughts.
It's a huge suction cup.
Come here from a great distance? Yeah, exactly. Don't tell me. You want me to buy a subscription to the Saturday Evening Post? No.
Let's consider this jacket he's wearing here. This silvery reflective jacket. Doc's styling. Let's not ignore it.
I came here in a time machine that you invented. Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
Did you pick up any of that on the mind reading thing, Doc?
Do you know what this means?
Share with us.
It means that this damn thing doesn't work at all.
So he did not pick up any of that on the mind reading suction cup.
Look at her sweatshirt, Doc. Class of 1984.
It cut off your mother's hair.
Brother's already starting to fade away. I never picked that one up before.
Who's president of the United States in 1985? Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, the actor?
You tell people in the 80s that Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be governor. They'd have laughed at you too.
I got enough practical jokes for one evening. Good night, future boy.
That's a fair conclusion to come to. I'm sure there's lots of people that have hassled Doc and made fun of him and stuff.
And that's when he came up with the idea for the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible.
I'm surprised he remembered all that. But yeah, that would get your attention if you were the one who did all those things literally from the wound on his head just recently.
So I hit it. Here.
You got a nice mist here, making it very ominous.
After I fell off my toilet, I drew this.
Don't we all draw things after we fall off our toilets?
Flux capacitor.
That is something that would freak you out, though, too. You're a scientist. You have an idea. You draw something out as a concept after you fall off your toilet and hit your head. And like a day or two later, or a week later, or whatever it is, somebody shows up and it actually exists. It's built and working in front of you.
It works! I finally invent something that works!
Get your ass at work.
Doc's a scientist who just admitted he's never invented anything that's worked.
Look at me! I'm an old man!
This time travel stuff is crazy, Doc.
But I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. 1.21 gigawatts!
What a line delivery from Christopher Lloyd. He's so great in this movie, just the kind of frantic energy he has.
What the hell is a gigawatt?
How am I going to generate that kind of power?
Is he even saying that right? I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Is a gigawatt an actual, unit of measurement, and is he saying it correctly?
In 1955, it's a little hard to come by. Marty, I'm afraid you're stuck here. Got a wife in 1985. I got a girl. Is she pretty?
If she's pretty, we can get you home. If she's not, too bad, Marty.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning. Fortunately, you never know when or where it's ever going to strike.
We do now.
But just by the crazy lady who was trying to preserve the clock tower that Marty gave a quarter to, he now knows when a bolt of lightning is going to strike soon. I mean, that's just storytelling, folks.
It says here that a bolt of lightning is going to strike the clock tower precisely 10:04 p.m. next Saturday night.
And we have our mission for the movie.
Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future.
Doc pointing right at the camera. Christopher Lloyd looks right down the camera when he does that. I wonder if he did that on accident and then realized, oh wait, I'm not supposed to know the camera's there.
Do you understand?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
He didn't like that response.
Marty, have you interacted with anybody else today besides me?
Sort of bumped into my parents.
Great Scott!
Yeah, you know, only the worst thing that could happen for your own existence, probably.
Just as I thought. This proves my theory. Look at your brother.
If he stops now, the brother just loses a head.
It's like it's been erased.
Erased from existence.
So what is the theory there? I know, again, we're dealing with imperfect storytelling here, but that slowly they all don't exist, like the parents, if they got together. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to try to dig too far. I know they just want a visual kind of ticking clock that Marty is trying to outrun in order to get home before he just fades away from existence. But I guess maybe it's the paradox catching up with Marty's present in the 80s.
That's him.
Very funny. You guys are...
Jeez.
Okay, really short.
He's actively being abused from multiple people in front of everybody.
Shape up, man.
And the person that the principal goes after is the kid being bullied.
Slacker. Do you want to be a slacker for the rest of your life?
Childcare in public schools in the 50s.
Mother ever seeing that kid?
Because her dad hit him with the car. He hit me with the car.
Go to it, kid.
Hey, George.
You can understand a little bit why George is so skittish and doesn't trust anybody. Everybody is horrible to him.
Lorraine?
Calvin!
Lorraine has no chill when he's around at all.
It's really a pleasure to meet you.
Jeez, George, getting right up in there.
I've been so worried about you ever since you ran off the other night.
George knows when he's not wanted. He's like, I'm just going to get out of here.
God, she didn't even look at him.
Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you.
It's not a sentence you ever want to hear.
My mother has got the hots for me.
Unfortunately.
You gotta get your father and mother to interact. What are their common interests? What do they like to do together?
Nothing.
That's not a great commentary on their relationship, but I guess that's supposed to be the point.
That's where they kissed for the first time.
Make sure he takes her to that dance.
George, remember that girl I introduced you to, Lorraine?
This would be creepy too. It doesn't make a ton of sense. No wonder George doesn't trust him. It's like random guy shows up out of nowhere and is just relentless about getting you together with this one specific girl with no explanation.
What are you writing? Science fiction stories. Let me read. I never let anybody read my stories.
Yeah, I'm feeling George pretty strong right here.
I guess that would be pretty hard for somebody to understand. No, not hard at all.
When you're a creative person, it's hard to have confidence. I can definitely tell you that.
She really likes you, and she wants you to ask her to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
He clearly likes her, or maybe it's just that she's really popular and it's dreams about if he had the confidence to do something like that. It makes you wonder why he doesn't pay more attention to her when they're married in the 80s.
I think she'd rather go with somebody else. Biff.
You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth.
Yeah, Biff, why don't you back the hell up?
You heard her. Said, get your meat hooks.
Tom Wilson is just a mountain of a guy over Michael J. Fox there.
You know, you've been looking for a fight.
He didn't back down, though. Marty's that little guy that doesn't back down from a fight.
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Biff is a real brilliant guy. He's a real scholar, you know?
Why do you keep following me around?
It was a fair question, George. I'd have been freaked out, too.
Lorraine wants to go with you. I'm just not ready to ask Lorraine out to the dance. And not you or anybody else on this planet gonna make me change my mind.
Foreshadowing and a pretty definite loophole there, George. That's what I've noticed. And Marty's got a picture with people in it that are disappearing. His siblings are disappearing, George. Times are getting desperate. Time to break out your fear of sci-fi monsters. Or aliens. Whatever we're going. Or yeah, aliens, I guess it would be. Van Halen. The torture of the aliens. Marty just trying to piece together any sci-fi knowledge he has for this.
My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan.
That pissed off a lot of Star Wars, Star Trek fans right there. What was the gun he had in his waistband? What was that?
Hey, George, buddy, I need your help.
George looks like he's been on a bender.
Change your mind, George. Last night, Darth Vader came down from planet Vulcan and told me that if I didn't take Lorraine out, that he'd melt my brain. Let's just keep this brain melting stuff to ourselves, okay?
Yeah, don't go tell everyone about the brain melting, George. You're gonna freak them out. Come on.
Well, the first thing that comes into your mind. Nothing's coming to my mind. Jesus, George, it was a wonder I was even born. What?
Yeah, you want to repeat that, Marty?
Tell her destiny brought you together. The most beautiful girl you've ever seen.
George don't play. He's taking notes. He's not gonna try to remember this stuff.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
Crispin Glover does do a pretty good job in this role. Right here, too, especially. One of my favorite parts for him coming up right this moment to get some courage to go talk to Lorraine.
Lou, give me a milk. Chocolate.
I love that part. Just that line delivery was great. Oh, Lord. We're walking up to you with a notebook or notepad.
My density has popped me to you.
My density has popped me to you.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Hey, McFly, I thought I told you never to come in here.
That's just rude. In front of everybody, Biff. Boom. Big tree fall hard. That's not a good situation.
All right.
All right, one little piece of trivia here.
What's that?
That shot where Marty actually hits him in the face and you see Biff's face with a fist thrown at him, from what I've been told, that was actually repurposed from the Eric Stoltz footage. So that's actually Eric Stoltz hitting Tom Wilson in the face.
I'll get it back.
Also, for those who don't know that much about skateboards, and I'm not saying I know a bunch, this would not probably work out very well. But it's a freaking awesome scene. Especially since his metal wheels, he's making sparks, basically. So, from what we're getting from this is that Biff is willing to commit murder. That doesn't say great things about his psychological state. I guess we see that from Biff a few times. Yeah, we're doing this from the wrong end of the car here, Marty. Not the optimum setup. But that is a cool dodge. Literally. How's that for the interior, Biff? I don't remember that actor's name. I need to look it up. He's great.
Thanks a lot, kid.
Kid was like, I was riding on that whole time. I'm going to try that from now on. He might have just created a new paradox or a new time branch. That's going to be the guy who's going to invent the skateboard. This scene, I never really thought about it before, but I think this scene was important.
Doc?
Yeah, this being the beginning of Doc realizing that maybe something went wrong. So later on with the letter, I think that's part of the reason why he changes his mind.
I do understand. If I know too much about my own future, I can endanger my own existence, just as you've endangered yours.
He's not wrong, but that kind of thing's still going to eat away in the back of your mind there, probably.
Please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to...
Excuse the crudity of the model. You have an entire scale model within less than a day.
Top of the clock tower, down between these two lampposts, accelerating to 88 miles per hour, sending 1.21 gigawatts into the flux capacitor.
If the science career doesn't pan out, Doc has a career as a model maker, I think.
Set. Release.
I mean, it's a good model in theory, but that's not exactly the intended result. Flaming car, Doc. Flaming car. Oily rags. Get on over there.
What happened today? Did he ask her out?
I think so.
What did she say?
It did not go well, as per usual.
It's your mom. Let's cover the timing.
She is relentless, man. She had to have literally followed him home.
How did you know I was here?
I followed you.
I guess she admitted following him.
But I was kind of wondering if you'd ask me to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance on Saturday.
Asking someone to ask you to a dance.
She wants to go with you. She just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, but I've never picked a fight in my entire life.
Look, you're not going to be picking a fight, Dad. Daddy-o.
That's not slang in the 50s, Marty. Good save, though.
I'm going to be at the dance. You're going to be in the car with her. Right around 9 o'clock, she's going to get very angry with me. Nice girls get angry when, guys...
Okay, now we're getting into gross. I know he's doing it for a purpose, trying to make George the hero, but...
It's just an act, right?
It's a little creepy. I give you that.
You walk up, you open the door, and you say...
Oh, hey you, get your damn hands off her.
Don't be smiling when you say it, George. It's going to seem strange.
You really think I ought to swear?
Yes, definitely. God damn it, George, swear.
Oh no, he said damn.
I'm out for the count, and you and Lorraine live happily ever after. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
I have a hard time believing that's the first time anyone ever said that to George. Maybe that's the first time it sucked.
I'm going to be very sad to see you go. You've given me something to shoot for. I'm going to be around to see 1985.
Yeah, that's a pretty big spoiler in and of itself that he's going to be alive in 30 years.
That I'm going to succeed in this. That I'm going to have a chance to travel through time.
That's sad. I'm going to get to travel through time. He never did at that point. He never got to use his own time machine. Einstein got to use it, and Marty got to use it.
It's going to be really hard waiting 30 years before I can talk to you about everything that's happened in the past few days. I'm really going to miss you, Marty.
I'm really going to miss you.
How would you not do that? You have someone you love, and you're not supposed to tell them that they're going to die? How do you do that?
Talk about the future.
No! Whatever you've got to tell me, I'll find out through the natural course of time.
This movie has some plot holes. It has some things it doesn't really completely iron out. One thing they do a very good job of is Marty and Doc's relationship. These are people who actually care about each other. And I think they especially have more of a chance to do this in the other movies. They do a very good job of that.
Your friend, Marty.
What you got under here? Don't touch that. Some new specialized weather sensing equipment.
Yeah. The cop pulls up the thing and sees a car from 30 years in the future. I mean, he could say it's like a concept car or some kind of invention of his. But... Doc's been shopping at a similar place to these guys. That was kind of like the jacket he was wearing when Marty met him. They really went into the theme. That is enchantment under the sea, ladies and gentlemen. They got seashells and Poseidon, and they're blowing bubbles. And I mean, I feel like I'm underwater, and I'm right here.
You mind if we park for a while?
It's a great idea. I'd love to park.
It's not what you want to hear from your mom.
Not like I've never parked before.
Again, she just outright lied to her kids. Never parked with a boy. Liar.
You shouldn't drink.
Why not?
Because you might regret it.
That one's a little sad. I never picked that up before. That's a son caring about his mother because he knows what a problem the alcohol is for her later.
You smoke too?
Marty, you're beginning to sound just like my mother.
Yeah, George. Come on, you're going to screw up the whole plan.
Marty, why are you so nervous?
Oh, I don't know. Reasons you really wouldn't understand?
Have you ever been in a situation where you knew you had to act a certain way, but when you got there, you didn't know if you could go through with it?
Yeah, this is a weird position to be in.
Hey, don't worry.
Yeah, that would be terrifying. You put an end to all this right now.
But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
You're damn right it is. I don't want to know how you know that.
Somebody's coming.
Hitch in the plan, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you drop a truckload of manure in some guy's car, and it's like he's going to want to come get revenge against you. I mean, who would expect that?
Let him go, Biff. You're drunk.
No. You're staying right here with me. Well, go on. This ain't no peep show.
No, it's a sexual assault is what it is. And a regular assault.
What the hell are you doing to my car?
Yeah.
Hey, beat it. This don't concern you.
Yeah, you about to get your ass kicked.
Come here, where are your keys?
Hey, the keys are in the trunk.
So what does he think at this point? That Marty's just really getting into it? George trying to get his confidence up. But it does even more set him up for this kind of hero moment.
Hey, you, get your damn hands off.
George,
Yeah.
help me, please.
Just turn around and walk away.
How do you walk away from that? The terror in her eyes.
No, Biff.
Damn right, George.
You leave her alone.
I'm gonna cry right now. I've seen this like millions of times. Beat his ass, George. Come on, George. You want to do it? We all want to see it. That is unfortunate.
Thanks a lot.
Biff, leave him alone.
George doesn't like it when you treat Lorraine that way. There you go, George. He hit him so hard, he spun him all the way around and slammed him against the car. There you go.
Are you okay?
That's a much better moment for them to fall in love. Good job, George. It doesn't matter how many times they see it. I still love that moment. Doc's getting nervous. Where's Marty?
Look at Marvin's hand. We can't play without him.
Yeah, well, look, Marvin.
Come on, Marvin. There's time travel issues involved here. We got to get moving.
Hey, man, the dance is over. Unless you know somebody else that can play the guitar.
I believe he happens to. I'm surprised he knows how to play these songs, but... Angel, it's Angel.
Scram, McFly. I'm cutting in.
How is this guy bullying George? This guy looks like he'd be in chess club with George.
Hey, boy, you all right?
He does not appear to be all right.
I can't play.
He can't really explain why. It's not going to make a lot of sense. This is a great sequence. Just a kind of a second victory for George. We put it in peril one more time. It looks like it's not going to work out. Why is George giving up so easily? I don't know. He just knocked out Biff.
Excuse me.
There we go. That look in the eye. That's the new George, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. New timeline. Something really weird going on with the picture developing in that photo. Yeah, I had this photo and all the people disappeared and then they came back.
Let's do another one. Let's do something that really cooks.
It's an oldie where I come from.
I wonder how many times Michael J. Fox got asked if he could play this song. Because he can play the guitar, but this ain't him singing on this song.
All right, guys, listen to some blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
I looked it up the other day. I can't remember who it was. I mean, the voice is close enough that it might be believable, but it's still pretty far off. Marty sharing music of the future with the kids of the 50s. Yeah, Marty, we're traveling into some more modern 80s rock at this point. The sax player just has a look on his face like, what's wrong with this kid? You silence an entire dance full of teenagers.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
He comes and takes his guitar back like, what do you do to my guitar?
Marty, that was very interesting music.
Being very kind.
Good, Lorraine. A feeling about you too?
I have a feeling too.
What a change in her.
I want to thank you for all your good advice. I'll never forget it.
See that you don't, George. Can't fix this again.
Good luck, you guys.
Marty, such a nice name.
Damn, where is that kid? Damn. Damn.
He's checking different watches each time, too.
All right, let's send you back at exactly the same time. Feel like you never left.
Thanks for adding that up for us, Doc.
That's where you start from. I've calculated the precise distance, taking into account.
It's almost like he's a scientist. He has all this worked out exactly.
Which will be exactly 7 minutes and 22 seconds.
I find it hard to believe that they know the exact moment the lightning struck the clock tower. Oh, okay, never mind. The clock stopped.
I guess that's everything.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's a special relationship they have, and Doc's got a little sense of it just right here.
In about 30 years, I hope so.
I had never thought about that before, but I'm really interested now to see if there's somewhere that they explain how they met. All these years, I've never thought about that. Uh-oh. That's heartbreaking right there.
What's the meaning of this?
Find out in 30 years.
It's about the future, isn't it?
Well, of course it is, Doc. You already know something goes wrong.
The consequences could be disastrous.
Your life depends on it.
I mean, you can't say for sure, but I don't know if the consequences of Doc not being killed by terrorists is going to be that start. Third act crisis, folks. The moment it looks like it's not all going to work. Doc, you knew that was up there. It's a gargoyle, for God's sakes.
Go!
Come on, guys. Gotta get this hooked up and get in position. He's gonna fall off right now if he's not careful. If Doc fell off right then, would Marty automatically go back to 1985? Because he would have never met Doc.
You got less than 4 minutes.
It's a great device for tension. They literally have a ticking clock. Again, at least as far as the paradox is concerned, I think that's true. If Doc falls, I mean, we don't want Doc to die, but if he fell from there and died, he doesn't invent the time machine, he doesn't meet Marty, I think Marty would just end up back in 1985 never having known Doc.
Damn it, Doc. Why did you have to tear up that letter?
I'm surprised this didn't occur to him before.
I got all the time I want. I got a time machine. I can just go back early and warn him. 10 minutes ought to do it.
You need more than 10 minutes. That's the thing, though, and they don't really address this till the second one, but in order to do it, Marty would almost have to, unless he went back way in advance, he'd almost have to walk out in front of his other self to talk to Doc. But then that would create a paradox, because Marty would never end up going back. Doc, things don't seem to be going too well. You're hanging off the front of a courthouse. Great tool for suspense, though. How many devices do we need to have to create suspense? Marty can't get the car started, and Doc's about to fall off the front of the clock tower. Alright, for those of you at home, if you are ever in a DeLorean that won't start, just headbutt it. Start right up for you. There we go. Nope, not quite. Didn't Marty think about that before he drove the car down there? I'm on that. Oh, well, that's going to be a problem. The car is already headed towards you, Doc. Better get moving. No time to waste, Doc. Let's get going. Quit looking at stuff. Do something. I know what happens, and I'm getting nervous. Doc Brown, ziplining champion of 1955. Right to the last moment. Ooh. at the last possible second. Is that the hook hanging off of the line? I never really understood what that was. Yeah, I guess it is. Never paid attention to that before. From his side, he just hopes it worked. He doesn't know for sure. He won't know for years. Imagine that when he first meets Marty. It's his confirmation that the experiment worked and Marty actually survived. Maybe Doc seeks him out for that reason. Who knows? Maybe that's part of how they met. I've never been so happy to see X-rated theaters, apparently.
124. I still got time. Not again.
Every time he goes to start this car, something doesn't work. Every single time. And he recognizes that vehicle. You don't quickly forget a vehicle that chased you around with a rocket launcher. Oh, crap. Too late, Marty. That seems like a pretty tame reaction for someone who was shot with an AK-47. That would freak you out. Seeing a past version of yourself doing something you remember right in front of you. That's a great effect that they had on the DeLorean for the time travel sequence. Now, I remember, even when I was younger, thinking, there's no blood anywhere. He's wearing white.
You're alive.
It was still a huge relief of a moment, though.
Bulletproof vest. I never got a chance to tell you.
I really think that watching the end of that video on the video camera is that lingering doubt in the back of his mind.
Not all that talk about screwing up future events.
Well, I figured, what the hell?
Sometimes in life, folks, you just have to figure, what the hell, you know?
So how far ahead are you going?
30 years.
Look me up when you get there, all right?
The future year of 2015, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, watch that re-entry. It's a little bumpy.
You bet.
Yeah, you're an old pro at this now, Marty. So this right here is actually Doc's first time traveling in the time machine, like going through time. And he's doing it speeding down a residential street. Come on, Doc. Irresponsible. I know it's late. Wake up the neighborhood with that kind of noise. I don't remember Pepsi Free, although I've never really been a big Pepsi drinker. That moment when you think, just for a second, maybe it all didn't happen. It's just a dream.
Nightmare.
That would have been a BS way to end the movie. Marty gets up and it was all just a dream. Wow, the house got redecorated.
Greg or Craig?
My brother and sister got redecorated.
Hey, what the hell is this?
Breakfast.
What are you wearing, Dave?
Marty, I always wear a suit to the office.
Why are they still living at home if they're this successful?
Oh, a rematch. Why? Were you cheating?
George is styling now. Confidence looks good on him.
You guys look great.
Thank you, Marty. George.
They do seem considerably happier, which is the point.
Jennifer Parker called. Oh, I sure like her, Marty. She is such a sweet girl.
Hold attitude change.
Aren't you going up to the lake tonight?
Car's wrecked. Wrecked?
The car is no longer wrecked. Pretty certain of that.
I want to make sure that we get 2 coats of wax this time, not just one.
Just finishing up the second coat now.
Now, Biff!
Don't make me come out there and clock you again.
Mr. McFly, I meant I was just...
Like I've always told you, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Marty, here's your keys.
What a surprise. It's the same exact truck he wanted from before. I didn't see that coming.
How about a ride, mister?
The people who played Jennifer, well, in this one, she wasn't in this movie very much. A little bit in the beginning and then right here.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah. Everything is great.
Quite an outfit, Doc.
Marty!
A clear tie.
You've got to come back with me!
And glasses that definitely look like you couldn't see through them.
Back to the future!
So I do wonder if they had some sense when they were making this, because this leans heavily into the idea that there's going to be another movie. Usually you don't know that at this point. Maybe they're just leaving it on a cliffhanger just in case.
Both you and Jennifer turn out fine. It's your kids, Marty.
You don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Where we're going, we don't need road.
No, you don't. Yeah, Marty, he's had a little work done, all right? In more ways than one, as we'll find out. Boom. Right into the camera. That movie is just still so fun to watch, no matter how many times I watch it. But let's go ahead and go to the wrap-up. All right. Well, That's the first one in the can, so to speak. First time doing what probably going to call a favorite reaction to Back to the Future. Well, it's not going to be any surprise to anybody that I really enjoyed this movie. I always really enjoy this movie. It's the reason I watch it. One of the things I was actually thinking, though, here, since when we normally get to this part of the video and I'm watching a movie that I haven't watched before, I decide on a rating. I wanted to go ahead and look at the rating that I already have for this movie and decide if that's still my rating for the movie or if I think it should be changed. So, bringing up Rotten Tomatoes, which I started putting ratings on a few years ago just to keep track of movies I'd seen. I have over 2,100 ratings, and I'm positive I haven't put them all in there. Back to the Future has a 93% from critics, it has a 95% from the audience, and it has 5 stars from me off the screen. That's a little too bright. Does Back to the Future keep its 5-star score from me? Well, probably isn't going to be a big surprise, because there's nostalgia at play here. I'll admit that. There's bias at play here. I grew up watching this movie. It does ask kind of an interesting question. Can we fairly judge the movies that we grew up watching? What was Back to the Future trying to do? Did it do that? And how much did I enjoy it? I enjoyed this movie as a kid. It really lit up my imagination. I think it did that for a lot of people. For a lot of us, this was the first time travel movie we saw, at least people of my age that were born in the 80s and stuff. There were other time travel movies in that time period, but this movie was huge. I mentioned during the reaction that when this movie came out, I watched that documentary recently with Michael J. Fox called Still. It went through his life and it was talking about these time periods. He was shooting Back to the Future during like night shoots. They did do some day shoots, but he was shooting Back to the Future part of the day, and he was shooting Family Ties the rest of the day, and was just getting taken back and forth to those sets. It was like getting no sleep, essentially. And when this movie came out, he was already one of the biggest stars in the world because Family Ties was a huge show. This came out, this was the biggest movie in the world. Talking about there being other time travel movies out there, this movie was huge. It was just everywhere. Just one of those movies that just takes over everything. And it was also because it was a great movie. Everybody loved it. It's a well-made movie. It's very entertaining. It's funny. There's adventure. There's suspense. There's a sci-fi element to it in the time travel stuff. There's a beautiful, heartfelt relationship there between Doc and Marty. And it's made by people who know how to make movies well. It just really is kind of the complete package of a movie. Does it hold up now? This is actually one of the reasons I started watching reaction videos, is because I don't trust my judgment on things like that if it holds up now. I have the bias of having watched it as a kid in the 80s. I've still enjoyed it all these years. These are some of the movies I did show my kids that they actually do like. Tried to never force my kids to watch movies that were from when I was young. They had an interest in a few of them. But I watch reaction videos with people watching this for the first time, and they still really enjoy it too. They're not going to ever have that nostalgia for it, but it seems like it holds up. And for me, I still think it holds up. It's a fun movie. It's a fun watch. It's a good way to spend a couple of hours. Do I think every part of it holds up? Well, no. There's some things that are just of a time period where they don't play necessarily quite as well as they once did. Some of the references you start to lose over time when you're talking about older movies. But I still think there's more than enough there. If somebody who didn't grow up with this didn't feel as strongly about it, I would understand that. In all of these, I would probably understand that. I would understand maybe them giving it a 4. I would question a 3. I would question 3 stars. But is it going to remain a 5 for me? Yes, it's going to remain a 5 for me. I really enjoy it. And I think this movie set out to do a certain thing, and I think it did exactly that. I think it did it very, very well. That's why it stood the test of time. That's why we're still talking about it. That's why you clicked on this video. Why would anybody click on something to do with a movie that came out 40 years ago? Almost. Because it's such a beloved movie, because people do still love this movie and talk about it and watch it. Or coming up with interesting castings for fantasy reboots of it. Seeing those videos with Robert Downey Jr. cast as Doc and Tom Holland cast as Marty. Most people probably wouldn't think that I was going to change my rating on it. I would say this one was pretty safe. I wasn't going to. But there are movies, I'm not even necessarily saying the Back to the Future movies, but there are movies I do end up changing my ratings. I started putting my ratings on Rotten Tomatoes just to keep track of movies I had seen, because I forget sometimes. But There are movies that I've seen and given a certain rating, maybe a high rating, and then gone back later and it's like, I don't think I like that as much anymore. I don't necessarily think that movie plays as well as I thought it originally did. Or sometimes it goes the other way. Sometimes I don't give something that high a rating and then I go back and watch it again, maybe pick up different things and think, I think that movie's better than I gave it credit for. Point being, I feel like there's more to do out here with reaction and commentary videos on movies and television. First-time reactions are great. I plan to do them out here. I've done some already. There are definitely some big franchises and things like that I, for some reason, have missed to this point, and those will make good first-time reactions. But also, if I had my way about it, I want this channel to be a place that people can discuss and celebrate movies and television shows. So I invite you to please do that on this video. Share in the comments your memories and feelings about Back to the Future. When did you first see this movie? What was that like? What are these movies meant to you or your family? Do you have traditions around these movies? Do you not like these movies? Are you one of these people that everyone's loved Back to the Future around you and you've never really been a big fan of it? I'm interested to hear it. So I don't know if this type of video will work. I hope so. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And if you did, I really hope that you go ahead and click the like and subscribe down there, hit the bell so you can see when I have new videos coming out. I have lots of ideas for things I want to do out here, folks, and I hope you'll stick around for it. I really appreciate you being here with me today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.